Good evening, everybody. I'm not sure if you can tell, but it is raining. We've got another atmospheric river moving into the central coast of California, so I decided last minute to come to this local campground. It's about, I don't know, maybe half an hour from my house, and there is nobody here. Except for the RVs and campers out front. I don't see anybody in a tent. I'm the only nut job that decided to come camping in this weather. Anyway, so I'm looking for a campsite right now. I'm trying to find something that is not so much covered by these trees, because the winds are supposed to be 25, 35 miles an hour with wind gusts up to 50 miles an hour. And I don't want any trees to come crashing down on me in the middle of the night. So, yeah. Anyway, I'll get back to you as soon as I find a site. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, so I found a location. I think I'm going to pitch the tent right here, and I got a little bit of a clearing above me, so just in case the wind gets really strong, I don't have to worry about that too much. My Jeep is parked out there, and yeah, looks good. Oh yeah, and I've got a new tent, yet again. So, for those of you that didn't see my previous video, I had bought then a new Hilleberg Alac, and I took it out in a pretty severe storm out on the coast, and it didn't do so well, unfortunately. It ended up leaking through the vents, through the zippers, and so hopefully this tent, since the design is different when it comes to the vents and that sort of thing, hopefully this tent is going to fare a lot better. I'm not sure if we're going to get the same conditions, but when we get these atmospheric river storms, you tend to get a lot of horizontal rain, so hopefully we'll get some of that tonight so we can test this out. So this tent takes a little getting used to set up, especially at the first few times. The ground is extremely hard over here. So I've been having quite a bit of trouble putting in the stakes on this side of the tent. There's so many rocks underneath there. I keep on moving the tent from left to right, but I unfortunately can't get these stakes to go in any more than that. And as you can see, there's probably maybe only 4 inches, if that went inside the ground. And what worries me is that the wind is supposed to come from this direction. So anyway, I'm going to put the crossbolts. I originally wasn't going to put the crossbolts, but now I think that I have to, and hopefully that'll strengthen the tent if we get some crazy winds that come in. Alright, there she is, folks, in all her glory. So yeah, I added the crossbolts. Typically you don't need them unless you're going to be camping in the snow and you need the poles to help with snow load, or if you're going to be camping on rocky terrain, what have you, and you need the tent to be freestanding. But typically you don't really need them to help you out in the wind or whatever. I mean, sure, it's going to make it a little bit stronger, but
I put them on tonight because, yeah, I'm just, like I said, I'm a little worried about these pegs right here that are just not cooperating with me on this side, and I believe that the wind is going to be coming in from this way.
Well, folks, believe it or not, I got some water issues with this tent as well, but this time it's user error on my part. You see, when you buy these ripstop nylon tents from Tarptent, they don't come seam sealed, so either you pay them, and it's really not that bad, it's like $35, I should have done it, but I just thought that I could do it myself. Actually, I kind of find it fun. I find it fun and therapeutic. But I don't know, I guess I missed a few spots. I noticed that it's leaking over here, so I got a section from the arch pole that I must have not seam sealed right. And then I also have a couple of the attachments that hook up to the crossing poles. And I see the stitching from that is also leaking. There's a leak going on this side, and there's a little bit going on, I forgot, here. Anyway, I'll show you all in a little bit. Maybe what I'll do this time is I'm going to dilute the steam seal just a little bit more. I think it was a little too pasty, so what happens is it doesn't penetrate and seal all the stitching. So, yeah. Anyway, live and learn. But I gotta say that none of my Dyneema tents, I have the Z-Pax duplex that I've had in horrible rain, just torrential. And I've also had my Hyperlight Mountain Gear Geary Go 2 tent, and they're both made out of Dyneema, and I've had both of those in just crazy storms, and I mean not one drop inside the tent. You know, unless you get a pinhole in the Dyneema, they are like really waterproof. I think, if I recall, the hydrostatic head on the Dyneema tent is something like 20,000. So it is really hard for you to have a leak. But otherwise, I like the space in this tent. It's marketed as a one-person tent, but supposedly you can fit two. I guess if you're really cozy in here, then I can see how it's done. So, yeah. I've got a 25-inch pad. I don't think you could do two 25-inch pads. No, not at all. No, there's no way you can do two 25-inch pads. Maybe two 20-inch pads, and you'll be all right.
So here we got a little bit of water coming through the inner from the main arch pole. And you could see it right there. It's just leaking through that attachment point onto the inner. Yeah. And so this is one of the cross pole attachment points. And as you can see, there's water coming through. I just gotta, and I hit it up with seam seal on both sides actually, but I just didn't do a good enough job. I think I'm just gonna use a more thinned out sealer, and hopefully that will get in there into all the nooks and crannies. Yeah, you can just tell it's leaking right there on the inner. It's really not that bad though. And here's the other side. Here's another cross pole attachment point. That's just leaking a little bit. I mean, none of this is really drastic, really. Just, again, it's all user error on my end. Oh, and then there's this whole seam right here that I'm probably going to have to hit up Anyway, all right, let's make some mulled wine, ladies and gentlemen, and enjoy the rest of the evening.
But yeah, otherwise, the space of the tent is nice for a four-season tent that has got this much space. That is a non-DCF tent, that is not a trekking pole tent. I think that this is probably one of the lightest options out there. So with the cross poles, with 10 pegs, because you need about 10 stakes. You got 3 on this side, 3 on the back, and 2 on the sides. And you also need 2 on each sides of the fly, so that way, if you got the wind blowing, this doesn't cave in. So I'm at 4 pounds 2 ounces. So that's pretty good with all the guy lines and everything. So I don't know. I think it's pretty good. Let's just have a little go of that and see how that is. Alright. A little bit more. Well, cheers everyone. Woo, pretty hot. Oh, yeah. How relaxing is this, folks? Very. Let's check out the Doppler radar. Let's see what is going on. Oh yeah, it is just beating us up right now. We are getting smoked, ladies and gentlemen. We are getting smoked right now. Well, tell you what, folks, I would not want to be outside without proper rain gear in this kind of weather.
After relaxing, listening to the sounds of the rain, and enjoying my mulled wine, I ended up hitting the hay and slept like a baby. That morning, I found out we got about 4 inches of rain in just a 12-hour period, which is pretty impressive. The storm was rated as a Category 3 atmospheric river. That being said, the winds were relatively tame, and the conditions were nowhere near the kind I experienced in my previous video with the Hilleberg Alak. So, after I get back home, the plan is to let the tent dry out, and this time apply a more thinned out solution of seam seal, and hopefully that'll solve the leaking issue. But again, if I could do it all over, I would just have Tarptent do the seam sealing for me. I think for $35, that's a no-brainer. Alright folks, if you enjoyed the video, please give me the old thumbs up and consider subscribing. And I shall see you next one, my friends. Cheers.